Hello and welcome back to the Boston Commune.
This week's Incredulous installment will feature commentary from Comrade Scott, Joe, Chava, and myself. For news, we schmooze about the federal government concurrently hitting its debt ceiling and running out of its own funding. We gauge the reverberations of our ever-present wedge issue, Israel, throughout politics from the local to the national and beyond. We disparage the white and wealthy empire, fanning flames of a not-so-cold war with China. And we investigate some unsavory developments from alleged allies. Plus, canine couples congregate to consecrate their vows.
Please do us a favor, share this content, do yourself a favor, enjoy your Epoch.
Mr. Bush, when are you going to apologize for the million Iraqis that are dead because you lied? You lied about weapons of mass destruction. You lied about connections to 9/11. You lied about Iraq being a threat. You sent me to Iraq. You sent me to Iraq in 2003. My friends are dead. Joshua Castile. You killed people. You lied. You lied about WMDs. A million Iraqis are dead because you lied. My friends are dead because you lied. You need to apologize. Apologize.
We have a special news bulletin, which was... It was my birthday over the weekend.
Happy birthday! Wait, was it really?
Yes.
Fuck. I'm sorry, bro.
It's fine. No, I didn't tell anybody because I like to be left alone on my birthday.
Yeah, me too. I fucking... People are always like, wow, what'd you do for your birthday? I'm like, nothing. And that's the way I want it.
Shut up, that's what.
I watched 2 films I like a lot, and I hung out with Chava. We got some ice cream the night before. We had too much Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cheated. I cheated myself by eating some shitty food. Anyways, well, actually, did what I wanted to do.
There's no such thing as too much Taco Bell.
It's true.
Really, I think the opposite is more true. Like, no amount is small enough.
Right.
It's always too much.
I did order too much. I will say. I was very full. Anyways.
There's no such thing as too much, says guy who's about to keel over.
Talk about the debt ceiling, I guess. We still care about that, I guess. It's back in our culture.
Yes.
It's coming back. I remember when it, like, the first Obama administration, when they're like, we're not going to raise the debt ceiling. And I was like, what the fuck's the debt ceiling? And it still has never mattered to anyone.
Well, it does matter, and it's always been a thing because of the way that our government was structured, because the people who founded this country are absolute morons. Yes, I said it. The founding fathers were morons. Oh!
You're not wrong.
Let's have Congress have to be the one to, like, authorize us to raise our borrowing limit every time it's necessary. And jump like 200 years in the future now, it's like an existential crisis we have to face every fucking year at the end of September. We can't fucking, like, do it for more than a year, I guess. Like, technically speaking, the U.S. government already hit its borrowing limit on August 1st, and the Treasury Department has been pulling out literally all of the stops to keep the government from, like, running out of money for the past 6 weeks. It's, like, literally been just finding money under the cushions, just moving money from different departments, trying to keep everything funded. But that's going to run out next week, on top of the fact that we, like, actually have to raise the debt ceiling, or otherwise the U.S. will default on its debt, and then that will trigger another global economic crisis on top of the one we're already dealing with. And also, at the same time, the government also is going to shut down if it doesn't appropriate more money to itself, because the government's going to run out of money next Friday, October 1st, which would trigger a government shutdown right at the same time that the debt ceiling is going to be hit, which is terrible. So, like, this is like the worst case scenario. And the Democrats have decided that they're going to play a game of chicken with the Republicans by being like, okay, so we need the Republicans to help us vote for the debt ceiling because, like, it needs 60 votes to pass. But the Republicans were refusing to vote for it in protest over the $3.5 trillion of infrastructure, basically the important parts of the Biden economic agenda. Actually, all of the things that would help people like you and me, they don't want that to pass. So they're literally threatening to, like, cause the U.S. to suffer, like, irreparable damage to its economy because, like, God forbid our donors like don't get all of the money.
That's interesting. I have a question, but we should check if the audio is fine. So we'll be right back.
When they gaze upon Yosemites, towering.
And
Starting over?
we're back. The horses are back.
No, we're not starting over. Wait, the audio is fine.
Yeah. My question is, like before, it was always the Republicans who harped on the debt ceiling. So basically, we've seen a change of roles here. Is what you're telling me?
No, not really. Not really.
Not really.
No, because in 2010, when Obama was in power, it's basically the same dynamic that's here, is that the Democrats control the White House and most of Congress, but the Republicans have just enough votes in the Senate to be able to, like, prevent it from being passed. And so they're trying to leverage that by being like, well, we're not going to give you the votes until you, like, don't do this. Like, in the 2010s, they were trying to hold the debt ceiling hostage to prevent any increase on social spending, which is they actually succeeded in that because the Obama administration predictably caved, and they agreed to pass something that became known as budget sequestration, which means that basically, like, we're basically just preventing Congress from being able to spend any new money on social spending for, like, several years. So that lapsed a couple years ago, but, like, basically anytime the Democrats try to do any kind of social spending, the Republicans have, like, a tantrum because, God forbid, the government spend money on anything other than the military-industrial complex.
God forbid the government spend money on its citizens that it's meant to protect.
So yeah, that's kind of what's happening. And also, what was really insane is that the bill for funding the government just hit the floor today in the House, and the House leadership actually was forced to pull an amendment to the bill because the Progressive Caucus was like, we're not doing this. And it was an amendment that would provide Israel with $1 billion for the Iron Dome. And the House Majority Leader said after the amendment was removed that...
It's just a technical postponement. We're going to put this back in the final bill, probably. But, like, we have to, like, appease the Progressive Caucus because, like, 70 of their members were like, yeah, we're not voting for this. And we need the government to, like, be open next Friday, so, like, one step at a time.
So basically, the House leadership still wants to give more money to Israel for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
One step forward, 3 steps back. Story of existence.
I mean, it's not for no reason.
No, I mean, like, in the context of the budgeting process, because this is a bill that's just about, like, disaster relief from, like, a couple hurricanes and just, like, keeping the government open.
What?
So, like...
Christ.
The fact that they're putting in, like, $1 billion of funding for Israel in a bill that's really just about keeping the government open and providing hurricane relief, it doesn't really make any sense, other than, like, we just want to give more money to our imperial proxy.
Yeah. We want to train more cops to bust up heads. Joe, can I do on you? Breaking news.
Yes.
House passes bill to prevent a government shutdown and suspends the nation's borrowing limit, but it's unlikely to pass the Senate. So
yeah, that's what I was talking about.
All right, fine.
So
whatever.
The House...
Fuck you. Talk about something else then.
So the House passed a bill that... They can pass the stuff through the House, but, like, the Senate Republicans are threatening to not vote for the debt ceiling bill, which is tied into this government funding bill. And if we default on our debt, which will happen next Saturday, if we don't actually do anything about it, the United States will suffer a downgrade in its credit rating, which will mean
LOL.
Wall Street will instantly tank. Main Street economy will probably tank soon after, because a downgrade in our credit rating would mean that interest rates on borrowing money would go up, among other things. And it would also probably trigger a global economic recession on top of the one we're already dealing with, because every exchange rate is pegged to our money. And if our money gets downgraded, this is like a domino effect. This chain reaction just goes boom. It's not like we're not living through the worst economic crisis in the history of this country already.
See, I have the solution to how you fund the government. They're called rich people. You tax them.
Yeah, exactly.
You eat them.
It fixes the problem. You just close a couple of those loopholes for the corporations, and then you burp in all the rich people's faces and say, give me that mun-mun.
You burp in their faces before or after you jab them with a pitchfork?
Probably after, because it'd be closer to them.
Well, I mean, like, you should jab them after you get their mun-mun. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly, because if you jab them before, then you might not know where
You're
it
never
is.
going to know the combination to the safe, you know?
Yeah.
You're just fucked.
Is
You're
it
just
just
fucked.
1, 2, 3, 4?
Maybe. I don't know. All I'm imagining
their
is that, like,
name.
the Capitol building in DC, just a giant, like, we're closed sign on the front of it. I would like to see that. I wouldn't like the economy to collapse, but, you know,
Brownie face painted on.
come back later. Taking a break.
We're closed. Back at 5.
It's a clusterfuck, and
Yeah.
the Democrats are, like, deciding to play chicken at literally the worst possible time.
With a run by Joe Biden, what the fuck do you think?
I remembered what I was going to say about this. So
It makes sense not to cave, but, like, if they do, then, like, literally nothing happens. None of the good things that we were promised are actually going to end up happening.
Well, of course not. They were never going to happen. Jesse?
I was, as I do most days, listening to the Majority Report, and Sam was like arguing with one of the callers about the misfeasance versus malfeasance thing, in the sense of, well, it doesn't make sense to like create this sort of Rube Goldberg of promises to break, and that seems to me exactly what politics has become. Like, you can say whatever you want when you're campaigning. People will forget about it. The populace has this 10-second memory, and very, very rarely are politicians having their feet actually held to the fire and asked questions directly about how, when they propose a policy, they're going to be able to implement it and how they're going to have support in the House and the Senate, because the Senate will blame the House for writing legislation that was too difficult to implement, and the House will blame the Senate for not passing the legislation that was agreed upon. And then it ends up being nobody's fault. Everybody can absolve themselves of some kind of responsibility, including Joe Biden, who pretends like there is no such thing as an executive order.
That's a very good point, actually.
Like, it just takes advantage of people's lack of knowledge surrounding what branches are capable of and responsible for. Sam was saying it's about political legacy, but the thing is, like, all of the fucking microaggressions that are undertaken on, like, a daily basis to keep things exactly the way that they are and benefiting, you know, the ruling class, including the aristocracy, nobody knows about that shit. Maybe we think about it, but very few people actually think about it. To think that everybody is trying their hardest, like, for the good of the people is
bullshit.
Even if you believe in capitalism and the free market as a genuine force for good, like, a good capitalist hurts people. A good capitalist extracts profit, you know? If you're a neoliberal, like if you're Chuck Schumer or you're Nancy Pelosi, and you believe that
capitalism is good,
sure. If you believe that capitalism is good, then the suffering that exists is necessary to uphold freedom. So it's not like you have to be an intentionally bad actor to implement horrible policies. And especially if you're in a bubble like that and you have tons of money, like, your political legacy is pretty malleable. I was attempting to convey here that political legacy is not a reflection of a politician's actual achievements or lack thereof. Some angles just make for better storytelling, and after enough games of telephone, we ultimately end up with an amalgamation of the bits that are easier to remember. Hillary Clinton and Benghazi, Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, Richard Nixon and Watergate, Anthony Weiner and, well, his wiener. The more mundane elements of politicking generally get lost to time, and eventually the laundered version will show up in a history book. The least interesting politicians, those who campaign on empty promises and deliver consistently to the wealthiest elements of society, those who can hand-wave away their failures as sad but necessary consequences of liberal democracy, they usually make out just fine. As is true of our current re-examination of the propaganda surrounding Manifest Destiny, I believe that the overarching attitudes that we take for granted at present will be scrutinized in the future, when the most comfortable class feels like enough time has passed that they're no longer implicated in their predecessors' crimes against humanity. And that is, if civilization hasn't completely collapsed, because holy shit, the climate is changing so much faster than we are.
I mean, also, when you think about that, political legacy is basically just like the continuating the suffering of people below you.
Right, but I mean, like, everybody already forgot about all the the bullshit that, like, Bush Jr. did.
Yeah.
As soon as Trump was in office...
Yeah.
I mean, people have already forgotten about the bullshit that's happened earlier this year. Seemingly everybody has forgotten about how we were promised the minimum wage, and then the parliamentarians said no. Bernie held a vote on having it put back into the COVID stimulus package, and like 8 Democrats voted against it, and it failed like 42 to 58.
Government!
The same thing is playing out again with the infrastructure bill right now. The parliamentarians said on Sunday that, you can't put immigration legislation into the reconciliation package.
What the fuck
Democrats
is the
put,
parliamentarian? What is that?
I'll explain. That's what I'm doing.
All right.
In the reconciliation package was an amendment for creating a pathway to citizenship. And on Sunday night, the parliamentarian said, "Oh no, you can't put the pathway to citizenship in isn't germane to reconciliation. Can't put that in." And most likely, what's going to happen is one of 3 possibilities. I would like at least 2 of them to happen, but realistically, I understand only one of them is going to happen. One of them is going to be the Democrats are going to use this ruling from the parliamentarian as an excuse to hide behind, to be like,
"Oh, well, we were going to do this, but then she said we couldn't, and so I guess we can't do anything, and so sorry for all those people who needed a pathway to citizenship. Like, sorry, Pence died, even though we control the government right now."
Option number 2, you can overrule the parliamentarian and be like, fuck the parliamentarian, we're doing it anyways. But the Democrats aren't going to do that. They're limp dish rags. That's never fun.
What the fuck?
Option number 3, my favorite, fire the parliamentarian and replace them with a parliamentarian who will agree with you.
Or don't have a parliamentarian.
Yeah,
Can you do that? Can that be an option? Can that be a 4? Number 4? Can we have a 4? Option D?
Thought of that one.
I guess I'm a fucking genius then.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the position. All I'm fucking hearing, like, in everything you're saying tonight, is that... No, stop. All I'm hearing tonight, in terms of how you're describing our fucking government, is that they have deliberately set up all of these fucking hurdles and, like, like, barriers to, like, make it so they can't fucking govern. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
This is insane.
The Democrats always try to, like, message as if they're out of power, even when they are in power. Like,
it makes no fucking sense.
Won't let us do it.
It's like, guys, you control the entire government. You control the entire government right now. Just fucking do it.
Yeah, act like the big dick in the room and just fucking do it.
Guys, the parliamentarian's ruling is literally just a non-binding suggestion. You can literally just be like, fuck you, we're doing it anyways.
Stupid. Just get rid of the position. Oh my god.
Bush Jr.
It's asymmetrical politics.
Bush Jr. literally did that in the early 2000s with his original tax cut. The parliamentarian was like, no. They fired the parliamentarian and just did what the fuck they wanted to do anyways.
Why don't we rule like the Bushes and the Cheneys and the crazy people? When are we going to get our own human instrumentality, damn it?
That's what I'm saying about optics. Like, the Democrats don't give a shit if they propose something nice and then fuck it up, because it will never be their fault. Like, they will always have tried their best. They will always
have... We did our best, but the Republicans wouldn't let us.
There just wasn't enough... It's like that Linkin Park song, you know?
Fucking Cock Schumer. What Linkin Park song? What?
I tried so hard.
Oh. It got so far.
And
but
in the end,
it doesn't even matter.
Like,
R.I.P. Chester.
People's legacies will be molded into whatever the prevailing ideology is at the time. Like, Martin Luther King's legacy, for a while, was pretty shitty. And then eventually we were like, you know what? Black people deserve, like, human rights. And then, you know, he became a messiah. That's how shit goes. Whoever is telling the story can create the legacy.
Elements of his legacy were whitewashed in the process.
For context, Martin Luther King Day was established in 1989. So that's like about 30 years after he died. So,
21 years.
Joe ruins everything. No, I'm kidding. Love you.
The FBI tried to get him to kill himself.
Yeah.
Like, that was their first assassination attempt. It was just like, let's make him so fucking miserable that he kills himself. Which is, that's pretty brutal.
It's bold. It's ballsy.
It's ridiculous. We love it.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
J. Edgar Hoover tried to write a letter accusing him of having, like, an affair with, like, someone from his congregation. And they're like, well, you don't like off yourself, or like you're gonna like.
Yeah, it wasn't even
release this to the public.
blackmail. It was like the weirdest way to go about it. The fucking president handwrites you a letter like, I know what you did last summer.
Oh shit! President's coming after me with a hook hand?
at the Jesus convention.
President Serial Killer. That's a movie right there. President Serial Killer. Oh, he takes care of his political opponents violently. Da-da-da-da. President Serial Killer.
Through coercive emotional manipulation.
Also, that's just his legal name. But
President Serial Killer, yeah.
Yeah, and he
My name, Jager Serial Killer.
Otherwise known as Tom Cotton, our next president.
Motherfucker is not going to be... Really think he's going to be president?
Possibly.
Oh!
I feel like he's going to be like the next Republican president.
What if Trump tries to come back and big dog everybody? Again.
That would be hilarious.
Pence said he's going to try to do that, which would be funny.
Oh, please. Pence has like the charisma of like a cardboard box.
Yeah, nobody likes Pence.
No.
Pence likes horses and horses like Pence, and that's about it. They like to fuck. Horses and Mike Pence, fuck. I'm not...
but
he's going off that tweet.
There's a lot of things.
The best thing for the inside of a man is the outside of a horse.
That I probably shouldn't feel comfortable, but that is testing my resolve. I don't know
Mike Pence will only he won't have dinner with a female horse if the female horse is not.
He'll only have dinner with his mother horse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he calls his wife horse mother. What the hell happened to this? Okay, anyways.
Hold on a second.
We're just saying that one time Mike Pence tweeted...
his wife HorseMother?
No.
Or he calls his wife horse mother?
His wife horse.
In real life, Mike Pence calls his wife mother.
Yeah.
So I was just making the joke that he calls his horse wife mother. His wife, who is a horse, mother.
I like it more if he calls his actual wife HorseMother.
HorseMother.
Which is, that is pretty good. HorseMother.
It's just mother is like a Ned Flanders-esque kind of
HorseMother, I'm gonna come.
HorseMother. Oh, Lord. No, he doesn't notify her.
Oh, no.
He just comes.
God.
Maybe he does notify her in writing.
Okay, are we done with the fucking... You want to talk about the Anglo-Axis of evil? This new fucking NATO that's gonna try to get China? Try to blitz China and then horribly lose because it's China?
I refer to it as the awkward caucus in the Discord because the acronym for it kind of like sounds like someone's like saying... They started saying awkward and then said caucus halfway into the word because it's AUKUS is the acronym for it.
So it's awkward cock. Okay. AUKUS.
Yeah, there you go.
Flopulence.
AUKUS, yeah. What does that stand for, Joe? Austrian... I don't know.
Cats.
I'm guessing like the Australia, the UK, and the US.
Oh, that's fucking boring. Jesus Christ.
That's what I said.
Turns out that the Anglos are all unimaginative, boring assholes.
Yeah, it's like a weird way to use... My voice has been cracking like a motherfucker lately.
We love it.
But that is like a weird time to use a portmanteau. It's like a campy way to portray like...
AUKUS.
Like a global surveillance system with fucking nuclear submarines and like anti-missile...
Welcome to AUKUS, we got the weapon.
Defense systems and shit. They're like...
We're AUKUS. It's Australia, UK, United States.
Good eye, mate.
We're a thruple.
Good eye, mate.
We're a thruple.
We got some...
Call ourselves AUKUS.
We got some fucking missiles. We're gonna put it up your joey.
Clearly.
Swimming with...
What?
Clearly, we did not workshop it.
That was gay. What's happening?
I don't know.
Which one of them is the lady?
I want to talk about happy things, man.
Talk on about happy things, Joe. Where's the wet SP word?
So last week it was announced that the UK and the US made a deal with Australia to produce 12 nuclear-powered submarines as part of this trilateral partnership to like challenge China in the South Pacific Sea. And France is pissed about it because this deal caused the cancellation of a contract Australia had with France worth $90 billion for... It was like a 50-year contract to make 12 submarines. And so the French are super pissed. And it's amazing how all of the news articles about this in the Western press has been... not about how none of the powers that be have learned anything from the past 76 years of foreign relations history, but who will think of the French arms dealers? Their $90 billion, 50-year contract to make a bunch of nuclear subs.
The Economist. The Economist will think of the French arms dealers.
Yeah, all of the news articles are about France being pissed that their arms still got tanked. It's like...
Actually, I don't know that for sure, but I can verify this right now.
This partnership is basically like NATO for the 21st century, but like instead of the Soviet Union being like the antagonist, the foil, it's now China. And China had a really hilarious response
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt real quick. The Economist article entitled French Fury over the American-Australian sub-deal has a wonderful picture of Macron. He's just making a fist.
Just scowling? Oh.
I'm going to beat them up.
You take my submarines.
Boy.
Oui, oui.
After I go tell union workers...
Violence to you.
It's a great impression, Scott. Sorry.
I don't know how I... Okay.
My favorite part, though, is that China's response was basically... Official response was basically...
Cause the orgasm with the kick. Yes.
The Anglos are being morons.
They are, dude. This is so fucking stupid. This is like the most performative, like, big dick shit I've seen in a long time.
The Chinese response was that the West should reconsider this because it's probably going to hurt their own interests more than it would hurt China's.
Yeah, no shit.
But it's true, which is why it's funny.
China is a much more advanced country than us.
These are just the death throes of the Western Empire, yo.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, but like, okay.
It's funny as shit, though.
It is, but it's also convenient because they can label the communist thing on China, and so it's like, it's Cold War 3, woo. So, like, you know, why not? Let's do it. 3. We can go back we can reclaim our former glory as a pointless antagonist to another world power, bleeding away our social programs. You know, let's do it. That's America right there.
Kill yourself to own the libs.
Like, do that.
You have the pundit class acting being like, living in America is like living in a slum. I could see a future like 20 years from now that they've already gotten rid of Medicaid. It's still like, we need to like fight China, even though like at home, like everything has gone to shit and there's like basically nothing left. But we need to fight China.
There are people that are getting a lot more out of like a Sandinista government right now than fucking...
Americans equate freedom to their ability to work and go shopping. And that's not actually what freedom is. Those are ideological chains.
Also, if you wear a mask, that's communism. So
yeah. And nobody likes that anymore. Fuck
the vaccine mandates are communist, which it's ironic because...
They are.
It's ironic because they're not wearing masks. They're not wearing masks in most socialist nations, right? I mean, Vietnam did just have a lockdown, but most countries that are, you know, Marxist-Leninist one-party state with the Communist Party... Sorry, I'm choking on my Bolthouse Farms Green Goodness smoothie here. They're not wearing masks anymore.
We're not sponsored by whatever company Jesse.
But if you want to give us free smoothies, please
go ahead. We'll drink them.
We will accept them. Yeah.
So you don't like that fucking mask? Maybe you should fucking move to a communist country where they're not wearing them.
Move to China. Go to China.
They don't got no mask mandate over there because they figured out the problem. And they weren't a bunch of fucking extreme, radical, rugged individualists who were like, "Oh fuck that! I'm gonna fucking huff it. This virus can't get me. I'm gonna go to the highest hill. I'm gonna outrun this fucking virus. I'm gonna see that virus and be like, get the fuck away from me, bitch! I'm gonna shoot it with my shotgun. I'm not gonna have to wear a mask. And now those people are dead.
I'm gonna die to trigger the libs.
Horse paste to own the libs.
And now those people are impotent because 85% of the human males who take ivermectin have reported cases of impotence.
They have reported the impetus.
They have reported their inability to get hard. So anyways, don't take ivermectin.
It's ivermectin.
Ivermectin. What the fuck? Who cares?
Ivermectin.
I wish I didn't have to know what any of the. Oh, I caused the orgasm with the cake. Anyways, I wish I didn't have to know any of these.
The
Ivermectin causes the orgasm.
God.
No,
Or lack of the orgasm because it's not the cake. I couldn't rewrite the code.
You know,
it's the Matrix. It's the Matrix.
This is the most bizarre timeline. Like, this is real fucking life. This is the shit.
I would like to point out that, like, for anybody who's still skeptical of the vaccine, the most easy, like, conclusion to come away that it's not, like, dangerous is they gave it to rich people and politicians first. If it was dangerous...
my balls are huge.
Congress wouldn't have been the first people to get the vaccine if it was dangerous.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
What if they had fucked up, though? And then Congress
that's the society we live in.
Oh, would have been a cool movie. Anyways.
That's true.
We live in a society.
We sent fruit flies into space before we sent humans.
Yeah.
That's not really related, but...
Yeah, what's the role? Okay.
Doesn't really need to be related. That's an interesting fact.
Fruit flies.
Never forget Comrade Laika.
Was that the dog?
Yeah.
Never forget that dude who burnt up and then told them to display his body if anything was going to happen when he launched because he knew there was a problem with the ship and that it was going to crash. That was in Can't Get You Out of My Head, the Adam Curtis film. Anyways, so we're going to follow up on the dress at least a little bit, the AOC dress. Now, we're not going to talk about the dress. I don't care. Shut up. Shut up. I see you over there trying to bring up the dress, and I want to tell you shut the fuck up. We're not talking about that. There is a problem here, though, because the person who designed the dress happens to be kind of not... No, but they're not a good person in the sense that they have run a couple companies that now owe, like, many back taxes, and they're in massive debt, and it turns out that she wasn't a great employer, and many of the employees weren't paid, the conditions were terrible, and it's just kind of upsetting that AOC didn't, like, look into this, because that's actually a controversy. Plus, the fucking designer's boyfriend is a dude who's a member of a family that we're good friends, I guess would be the phrase that we'd have to use now, of Jeffrey Epstein. So
who didn't kill himself?
Who didn't kill himself?
Nope.
No, it was Hillary Clinton.
She did it herself.
At least she maybe made the order. Anyways,
she teleported into a cell.
And that's depressing. Okay. This is sad, especially if AOC is going to use language like working class women at the Met Gala. It's like, no, you're not working class. You're an elected official, and she's a well-off fashion designer. So I'm sorry. Anyways, that's the follow-up.
Who's well-off?
Fucking the fashion designer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and AOC is an elected official, so she's not technically a part of the working class anymore.
Well, I mean,
she's part of the political class. It's a different.
I feel like that's definitely more of a problem with American politics than with politics in general.
Yeah. There's structures in other countries that allow for working class politicians. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
But not in America.
Hats off to Thomas and Kara for. Anyway, we do have to acknowledge though that like the DSA wants to go sort of mainstream politics. This is sort of how that ends up when you run within, an existing bourgeois party. You have to a degree, work within the confines of that bourgeois party. And even if you start off as like a good nugget, you become a corrupt nugget.
Yes.
I will say, in AOC's defense, she does have to walk this tightrope between, like, trying to, like, push for a socialist agenda while also
no
trying
shit, dude.
to, like,
but at the same time, you can't fucking find another designer to make a dress that says tax the rich, though. Like, that's my point.
That's fair.
She should have done better fucking research.
She could have spray painted it on any
She
old
could have done it her
herself.
fucking self, exactly, yeah.
Sorry, I inadvertently drove the conversation off the rails, and Scott wanted it off record, so we're jumping ahead. Michelle Wu.
Thank you for your technicals, but yeah, okay.
Most
Michelle
of the
Wu, sorry, no, it's not that big. She has good policies, except she's not...
Sometimes she doesn't.
This is one of her bad takes, is she's not an anti-BDS person, and she has...
She is an anti-BDS person.
Excuse me, yes, she is anti-BDS, and how she expresses that is... She hasn't directly said it, but she has said that she does support the cops being trained by the IDF. So that's bad.
Like our cops?
Yes.
Here?
Massachusetts.
Like
yeah.
the IDF?
Most American cops are trained by the IDF or have used IDF training in some way or form or fashion.
What's this?
Do they just have,
where did you hear that?
I would say you should, because Evan George has been talking about it. Watch his show on TikTok. Sorry, I know I have bad sources. It's social media. Sorry.
I trust Evan George. Bostopia News, y'all.
Bostopia News, that's what it's called.
He knows what he's talking about.
That's my source, Bostopia News.
But, like, I do know that most cops have been getting trained by the IDF for a long while.
Anybody see that Macbeth trailer? That looked good.
No.
Who's in it?
It's the Joel Cullen. It's the first movie he's doing by himself. Oh. Denzel Washington is Macbeth, and Frances McDormand is Lady Macbeth.
Oh, shit.
It's all in black and white. It looks moody as shit. It looks so good.
Wow.
But I'm sure someone will complain.
Campbell was not good on this.
Well, how was Wu?
Better, but still not. What she said is basically that Palestinian people are living in bad conditions, but she doesn't support BDS because it is a consequence that's felt by everybody rather than the people that are making the decisions, which I'm personally in support of BDS on Israel specifically, but no other nation, literally no other nation, and that's because we are giving money to Israel. So if we were to impose BDS, that would just mean like not giving them money anymore, you know? But if it was like we weren't giving them aid at all, imposing any kind of sanction on any nation is fucking warfare, you know?
I would agree with that. Economic warfare, that's what sanctions are.
When you worsen economic conditions for people, if they're unable to organize a well-formulated proletarian revolution, they're going to swing hard to the other end of the spectrum. But I mean, that's already happened in Israel. So it's kind of like it's like a one-off with Israel. And thus, I think it's the wrong stance to take. I think Wu's taking the wrong stance here. But I understand, like, just being in general against BDS because it is warfare. I also think Michelle Wu probably wants to look good for the Jewish community in Boston because they are doing this like insane amount of campaigning on like anti-Semitism stuff.
Because that's the right's new playbook now within like center-left politics. It's like you disagree with someone, they are an anti-Semite.
You have to placate the Zionists because if you don't, you'll be branded as
an anti-Semite. Yeah,
because like it happened to Corbyn, it happened to Bernie. Happened to basically anybody who like wants
happened to Jewish Bernie Sanders.
I think politicians should all run on what they honestly believe and not just be like placating anybody's interests. But as like a political power thing, I can't say necessarily that it's wrong. I disagree with it.
It's a necessary evil because we live in a shitty system.
Shitty system.
Which is similar to like what I said about AOC. Like, I don't think that she is fucked up. I just think that, like, the Democratic Party sucks. You know what I mean?
I mean, it does suck. Like, the Democratic Party is decrepit and, like, basically rudderless at this point.
People talk about making change from the inside, but they don't fucking do it. You know what I mean? The temporary changes that have been created by people running on the Democratic ticket, like FDR, for instance, like, that's all gone. We are way farther to the right now than he ever swung the country left. And that was only because if he hadn't, communists would have fucking been a legitimate political force in this country.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think if we can learn anything, it's that we have to grow. We need to build a working class coalition outside of party politics because we only have two parties in this country, basically. There's no room for another party.
A little working class party. Come on, let us have a little working class party.
Yeah, like we can't expect to be able to build like a viable third party that's
a little working class party,
a social democratic party or something like that to sort of rival the existing parties. Like, we're gonna have to fucking take it apart. We are going to have to fuck it up and put something in place of it so that it doesn't grow back into its former
pulsating, disgusting neoliberal mass of like.
I mean, I do
pulsating, disgusting mass.
And fucking.
I really do think we just need to destroy the Democratic Party.
We need to do more than that, but yes, just let me come over to your house and start a little democratic, little working class party.
In your den,
because it's already a decrepit.
Let me be your son. Let me start a little working class party. For God's sakes, let him start a working class party. SNL, everyone, in the 90s was actually pretty decent, but
it actually was.
Yeah. Famous Sandler and Farley sketch, that one, Anyways, Jesse, would you like to talk about the new menagerie?
Yes. Okay, so...
I gotta restart my fucking...
I don't remember if I already said this, but 2 menagerie episodes since, I think the last one I talked about was the DSA national platform. That's still piece by piece, slipping into the main feed. There's no verb. I don't know what the verb is for that, because, I pre-scheduled them.
Verb.
If you're not a patron, you're going to get them
You're a verb.
when I set them to come out, which is at 2 o'clock on Mondays.
Funny verb.
But since completing the narration of that proposed national platform, I did a reading from M.N. Roy on national liberation in regard to the Indian proto-communist parties. And most recent one I did was an excerpt from Blood in My Eye by George Jackson. It was an excerpt chosen for inclusion in the Black Panther Party Service to the People programs. Well, it's called Toward the Unified Front. It's good shit.
It's good shit.
It's good shit. What else was I supposed to talk about?
That was it.
That was it?
Yeah. Listeners, call in. Anyways, Chive.
Yes.
You're the Chive this week.
That's me. I've just been sitting here reading the Chive.
Are you serious? What the fuck is still on the Chive? Is it what?
I mean, I don't fully understand it. It's just, it became sort of a compulsion because, it's not for me. This stuff is not for me. I'm like,
what's on the Chive now?
Well, it's the same shit.
Really? It's still just tits and beer
and food. Yeah.
And food?
I don't know. They had one post that was food, sex, and memes or something.
And violence.
Yeah.
Meat and ass.
Seems like
tits.
Yeah, lot of tits. A whole bunch of tits. Yeah, I don't even know why I'm looking at these.
Joe, say whole bunch of tits.
Now you're just the babysitter, making the kids say stuff that's naughty. Oh,
trying to get a fucking viral TikTok video.
Joe, say
I'm gonna make them say something dirty.
Anyway,
say penis.
Do you want me to do the thing?
Say butthole.
Do you have a fucking segment?
Yes, I do. Yes,
okay,
I do.
Is it on the Chive?
No, it's not.
That was wrong. I found this on the Chive about a duck that flew into a girl's tit.
Hold on.
While she was drinking beer at the Mets game.
How do you fly into a tit?
I don't know, dog. I don't know, but the beak just went into the net.
There's a lot of ways you could specify a destination for a flight. But someone's specific tit is pretty... I don't know if there's a GPS coordinate that you can equate that with.
Chicago suburb attempts world record for largest dog wedding ceremony. Do they mean the largest ceremony in terms of people there, or the largest actual dog?
I don't actually understand.
It's the number of dog couples.
Dog couples.
Oh,
dogs that are
178
dating?
canine couples? What the fuck?
Yeah. They want to get the most number of dogs that are dating each other and want to get married.
These dogs are dating. They know their dogs want to get married? Don't they have to sign a marriage license?
I like this story because they failed.
Yeah.
This isn't they set the record. They came up short by 100 dog couples, but it's...
Well, no.
Okay.
They did fail, but then the story is about how they're going to try again.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I jumped to conclusions.
They are hoping to gather more than 178 canine couples.
Hope. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a story about hope.
Yeah, man. What else?
Yeah.
That.
We love hope. Sorry.
Hope, dogs, and this woman who is actually, who the fuck is this woman?
Damn it! This isn't even a real pic. This is a stock photo.
Yeah, it's not even from. That's how newspapers do it, man. They can't. They weren't there, so they have to pull up their stock photo of a dog in a tuxedo, which they luckily had. It's very germane, and the chair of the Villa Park, Illinois Community Focus on Unifying Neighbors Commission, or FUN Fun, said that
pet owners whose dogs don't already have another dog to marry can participate in a round of doggy speed dating to find an appropriate spouse right before the ceremony.
Now, is this an inclusive ceremony?
Let's hope.
Are there like gay dog couples and non-binary thruples? Or is it all...
Thruple, we got a thruple. We gotta.
There's some polycules in there, maybe like 4 or 5 or even 6 doggies who all want to get married to each other.
Oh.
The most people in real life that I have ever met who are married to each other was 3, but these are dogs. Oh. There's no boundaries.
These are dogs. They're like, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They don't know that they're getting
married to this fucking freak.
In fact, I don't think there is any legal agreement that can bind 2 dogs together as such.
Legally. I mean, the Guinness Book of World Records seems to think so, I guess.
Fuck them. Dogs gonna do whatever the fuck they want. They're gonna eat your world records. Shit them out.
Yeah.
They think. That's the important word there.
That is one big pile of shit.
Now that I didn't even think about it before, but this definitely falls into Maya and Ellie's favorite category of story, which is humans trying to impose human rules and norms onto animals who don't understand what's happening.
The ultimate anthropomorphizing. By the way,
doggies just like me. What's the having wedding?
For
the
record, pun intended.
For the rec dog.
From the official Guinness World Records website, quote,
"The ceremony was unofficial and has no legal value."
Oh.
You're fucked. You are fucked.
They even put wedding in quotes.
Chicago always...
They even put certificate in quotes.
Chicago's actually awesome.
Yep.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right.
There you go. It's a story about hope.
It's a story about hope. It's a story about getting our dogs together to fuck.
Nothing left to believe in.
Incessantly
blood-sucking lawyer
demanding I give her pets. Like, since I sat down in this chair.
Dog.
I mean, I've moved since, but since the first time I sat in this chair today.
Sunday morning.
It's just been non-stop.
Which one?
Which cat?
Bindi. I can't believe I was fucking even considering rehoming her. I could never.
Bindi.
Anyways.
She is my child. She came out of
baby. We got
my man cat vagina.
We got some breaking news, baby. Can I get into it?
There's a man cat vagina?
The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, Motion Picture Technicians, Artists, and Allied Crafts of the United States territories and Canada, or the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, or the IATSE, is going on strike.
IATSE.
Because they were trying to negotiate things with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, the AMPTP. Basically the people who run the fucking industry. The negotiations broke down, so they're going on strike. They're demanding higher wages, safer working conditions, more consistent work. And then there's all this like technical streaming stuff they also are demanding, which, you know, we support a strike, we support our unions, and we support the people who, they are the people who make movies happen, you know.
They also work
they set up
really shitty hours because they're really constrained to like
magic hour and shit.
They're constrained to like calendar days, not like hours in a work day. There's a short period of time in which a production company can lease an area to shoot, and they have to make it fucking happen within that period, or, you know, somebody is going to be there.
Or the lawyers start calling, yeah. Yeah, so movies might not be produced for a little while, but support a strike. So, you put Frank Zappa in the fucking... What?
Oh, sorry. Those are the lyrics, some lyrics from Baby Snakes, which is it's a masterpiece.
I don't like Zappa. I'm sorry.
I know, but it was relevant. He talks about the Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers, or SEMPTE. Frank Zappa, everyone.
Frank Zappa.
Frank Zappa.
When I think of Frank Zappa, I just think of like weird horns and like a weird hat, and I don't like it. So, anyways, my name is Scott.
His name is Scott.
I don't care for Frank Zappa, but I make my own music, so like, who cares?
He makes his own music.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Motherfucker.
I won't do it.
You could find no, I don't really. It's just funny. You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Anyways, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Sweaty Wife. I'm on Sweaty Wife on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Go follow me, and I'll I'll tell you. I'll send you virtual kisses. Num 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 num. I want to hear, Joe. What you doing? Where do you know? Where do you know?
Where does he know?
Where do I know?
All the
or what
places.
do I know?
Where do you?
I don't give a fuck where you know. I want to know where you know.
Where and when and why. And how come?
Places?
Joe, who are you? Where are you from? What's your deal? Well, don't tell us where you're from.
I'm Joe. You can find me complaining about things on the internet, but I haven't really been doing much of that lately, so kind of defeats the purpose of finding me.
This is what you said last time, and then Scott totally called you out.
I mean...
It's more accurate. Joe hasn't done anything really recently on social media.
Okay.
I've been dealing with health problems all the past week, so I haven't really had time for anything other than, like...
Oh, but I will follow up on something that, I have seen other people tweet about the left's love for ketamine, and I've been like, what the fuck? What, Joe? You predicted it. You knew it.
No, I saw...
He was on there.
I think I saw where Joe got that joke from. I'm sad. I thought it was a Joe original
Joe. Original famous Joe.
Let us all down.
Let us down. You know what?
That's sad.
It's my fault, because I stay so far out of the Twitter sphere that I couldn't have foreseen the
if it makes you feel...
If it makes you happy...
If it makes you feel any better, there was a time many years ago when Ellie thought that our housemate made up dick butt. Like, they thought
Dick butt.
It was
Dick butt was my
housemate.
splash screen image for a while, but
that's a blast from the past.
The X-ray version of dick butt. It's
I've
true.
never seen that.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, Joe, you're done talking, right?
More or less.
Oh, we love him. Chive.
I'm gonna vote for more.
Chive on. Oh yeah,
Chive.
I second the motion.
Are you grinding weed right now?
Yeah, you know it, baby.
God damn.
So we are Janice. That's why Janice uses they them pronouns. We're a system. There's a bunch of us. I specifically am Chava, and
Janice
do you have a person who used to be in your life that you aren't in touch with anymore?
Angelad Hatanagra. His eyes uncovered!
Or perhaps the person that you are.
There's no other. This is the only option. This is the only option. Is you find the tallest tree in your neighborhood.
And you holler.
And then you know.
Darmok Angelad Hatanagra. His eyes uncovered!
Hopefully you'll be within earshot and we'll, give you a reading.
It's like the bat signal.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you can send. Yeah. No, sorry. If you want to see how somebody is doing.
God ignored me.
Or. Well,
I email God, ask him why my grandson doesn't like my Facebook posts.
Fine. Fucking go to readingsbychava.com.
Yeah,
apparently
do it.
I can't. There you will learn all the things that I can't explain to you right now because I'm being knocked over and over. Yeah, you'll learn about all of the. No, it's basically
you can find out
psychic readings,
someone
but
you haven't talked to in a while. If they're doing well, you can get a shit on
how they're doing.
What anything gonna happen in your future.
Yeah.
You will be able to learn.
Don't do future.
I don't do that.
What?
I don't do future stuff.
What?
That's the thing. I don't do future stuff.
Well, then what the fuck?
I don't know. I told one of my passengers today, like, what I do, and she was like, oh, that seems very useful. And she herself had done psychic readings before as well. So I was like, thank you. I hope it is. Readingsbychava.com, Chava. That's my name. Thank you.
That's not how I thought that story was going to go. I'm Jesse. You can find my music on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/contingentsboston. In fact, I just threw up. No, I didn't. Not like vomit.
What?
I just posted
I just threw
a
up
new
on my
song.
cat.
I just put up a new song, and it is called Pseudomonas, about my contentious relationship with bacteria. It's how I cope with the ever disturbing escapades with my external ear infections. But it's heavy as fuck. It does have synth in it, and I am proud of it. Check it out. SoundCloud.com/contingentsboston.
Check it out.
And remember to hit up Comrade-Rosie.org. Choose Getting Involved tab. It's like one more mutual aid groups to donate your time, labor, and or money to because people really need your help right now. Our Venmo's back up at mutual aid. But
Give them money.
We will be taking a hiatus from fulfilling new intake requests for a little bit because we need to restructure the org. We are actually looking into maybe 501c4 status. Like the DSA. I hate it. It makes me sick. I'm going to die. I'm going to vomit my asshole out of my mouth. But it needs to be done. I think it needs to be done. Mm-hmm. We have had too many difficulties as an unincorporated mutual aid
So would you prefer remaining unincorporated, or like is it just like you would prefer like a different 501 designation?
It's a financial necessity at this point. We are having so much trouble with continually re-verifying our identities with different bank accounts and all this goddamn nonsense heaped upon us by this neoliberal pulsating mass of
bullshit.
Yeah.
Of bullshit.
Yeah, that's how I feel about our healthcare system.
You are Slam album recommendation of the week. I scared Bindi off. It is the album entitled Insufferable Violence by Corpse, Korpse from the Netherlands. They actually do have some political lyrics, so you can't actually understand them. So
they're Dutch. Maybe that's just how they spell corpse over there. I don't know.
What's it spelled?
With a K.
Yeah.
Alright, that's a lot of Meadowlands anyways. And go to patreon.com/epicandcredulity, where you can find some of our bonus material, as we were talking before
Boner
the
material.
show. Boner material. We are
get your nipples licked.
Most likely going to bring back the movie club for me and Chava. We're going to talk. We were talking about. See what I did there? About talking about Hereditary. No, Midsummer. Excuse me. Thinking about talking about Midsummer, which I guess will include, at least from me, a discussion about Hereditary as well. In contrast,
it's a wonderful movie.
Which
it really is.
Hereditary.
It was exquisite. That's the word I used.
Okay, wait.
After
yeah, but you're not talking about. So wait, you meant exquisite about Midsummer, and then
no.
The chairman is talking about Hereditary. They're both good films.
Oh.
Sorry.
They say yeah. Just clarifying things, folks. Chairman being Jesse.
That's right. I am the chairman wherever I go. There is always a chair attached to me, and I am a man. I am the chair. Chairman.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Talking to an empty chair, like Clint Eastwood. Go watch Cry Macho if you have HBO Max. I think I said that last week. No, I didn't. But yeah, we're Epic and Credulity on Twitter, Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. More importantly, you should go to patreon.com/epicandcredulity, where we will be bringing back the movie club, and you can find all that bonus content and boner content.
All the boner content.
Before it hits the main feed.
All the boner
Get access to our Discord.
Also, we're on TikTok and Clapper.
Oh shit, we're on TikTok and we're on Clapper. Not TikTok, not Clapper. Clapper Dapper and TikTok. Those are the apps we're on.
We have like 45 followers now on Clapper for some reason.
Why? No. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't understand it.
Why?
I really don't.
This is the voice of confidence, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, why are people following us?
It's more like I don't understand
Clapper. Yeah, go follow us on Clapper of all fucking... Jesus Christ.
Yeah, anyways,
just fucking show other people the show. That would be...
Dragging us out, but cool. I'm sorry. We were questioned on it, but you know what we say every week? Batankdo. We actually weren't questioned on it. Just we had a comrade this weekend comment on the shirt that we made.
Yes, I was wearing the shirt that we made. It was somebody from Eastie, DSA.
Yeah, I think it was Zach.
Yeah.
Local Eastie Ward.
Zach H.
Anywho. But Tankdo. I don't know. anecdote. I said it again. I keep saying it. We're the epoch. That's your epoch. We're the weak epoch. Yeah. That's how it goes. Oh. Yeah, I gotta work on that. I gotta work on not getting tired at the end of the show.
Yeah, you should just do cocaine.
Yeah, that's right.
Do some cocaine in the middle of the show, like when Joe finishes the news.
Yeah, that's
true. I feel
true.
your pain, though, about dealing with the finance system, because, like, having to deal with the healthcare system in the past 2 weeks is really gradually depriving people to live.
Oh yeah, dude, it fucking sucks. I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. But we just need to restructure the whole shit. We just need to restructure the shit. I drafted... Actually, you know what? For some extra special spicy bonus content...
Clapper, be heard, be seen, be valued.
I can read... I'm going to call it a draft for our rules of engagement on intake, which are like guidelines for conflict mediation. Ahem.
Oh.
We will exercise our best judgment to determine whether a request falls within the scope of what we are capable of providing, namely temporary assistance with food, small financial disbursements, crowdsourcing donations, and assistance with scheduled tasks such as dog walking or household chores. We reserve the option to decline a request if we determine that we are not qualified to help, or if we believe that it would compromise the safety of any individuals who operate within our mutual aid group. Interpersonal conflict mediation is one type of request which extends beyond our capabilities. Volunteers are not trained to handle civil disputes, nor do we act on behalf of, in concert with, or in place of any law enforcement or court systems. Conducting background checks is also outside of the scope of what we offer. We trust our requesters to determine if responding volunteers are the right match for their request. These guidelines allow us to serve as many people as possible with the limited resources we have, not to deny resources to those who are in need. Discourse in our Facebook group and other web forums is public. If you'd like to reach out to an individual moderator via private message, you must ask for their consent in the Facebook group first, with the understanding that the moderators are not obliged to accept. If you have information you don't feel comfortable sharing in a public forum, please email alstonbrightonmutualaid@gmail.com. And then at the end, I wanted to somehow explain that the web platforms are a way to initiate contact between community members and volunteers. They had like a little website redesign party. Not really, it was just like a Zoom call with a couple of people, but it's a party in the heart. It's in the heart.
Party.
So a hearty party.
Heart party, hearty party. Yeah, we got a lot of plays on Clapper. What's that about? Anyways.
I don't know.
Clapper. Clap it off. Why are we still recording?
Because you haven't played the
I don't know.
Oh, I gotta play an animal.
Yeah, dude.
I don't have no chickens. I wish I had some chickens.
I wish I had me some chickens.
Some chicken.
Some rooster. Give me a
Roaster.